Tyrael, Archangel of Justice.
Tyrael, the Archangel of Justice, is a formidable warrior for the high heavens in the eternal conflict, slaying innumerable demons with his mighty sword Eldruin. During humanity's own sin war against evil, he appears as their greatest advocate, much to the dismay of his angelic brethren, who ardently oppose Sanctuaries' very existence. Yet curiously, during the events of Diablo II, Tyrael does not directly help the hero, instead merely guides. It seems such a waste of Heaven's champion to sit idle much of the time as mankind suffers, which begs the question, who is secretly stopping Tyrael's attempt to fight the forces of hell alongside the heroes of Diablo II? What would possibly make the two evils, Diablo and Baal, choose to imprison versus kill Tyrael, leaving him for the hero to find? And why does Tyrael then recruit a hapless Marius, a non-combatant, to destroy Baal's shard of destruction and entrust the diminutive rube with the fate of all of humanity?
This may be our darkest hour, but it will be your greatest moment.
Since the first spark of creation, angels have waged the eternal conflict to defeat the forces of darkness and corruption.
First, who is stopping Tyrael's attempt to fight the forces of hell? Before the dawn of man, Tyrael was originally seen as the most rigid of all angels, firm in his adherence to laws, rules, and order. He had a single duty, namely to secure victory for heaven in the eternal conflict. He was renowned for being calm, controlled, and meticulous in his execution of combat technique. Outside of combat, Tyrael was noted for being fair and impartial, as justice itself must be. Tyrael was said to enjoy taking part in battle. It was at the culmination of the Sin War, a war between heaven and hell vying for control over Sanctuary, that a Nephilim named Odyssean nearly achieved god-like powers. But instead of embracing said powers, Odyssean used them to aid humanity, sacrificing himself to repel Sanctuary of the burning hells and heaven alike. A pact was then made between heaven and hell to allow Sanctuary's continued existence. However, due to Odyssean's sacrifice, Tyrael underwent a change of heart and became something of a maverick to heaven. He intervened on humanity's behalf, despite the edicts of his fellow council members that forbade his intervention on Sanctuary. Over time, he came to believe that the angels were meant for more than just fighting the demons, but also protect the innocent from them.
I saw the Nephilim in a new light. She is a hero who can defeat the champions of heaven and hell.
Take heed and bear witness to the truths that lie herein, for they are the last legacy of the Horadrim. Nearly 300 years ago, it came to be known that the three prime evils of the burning hells had mysteriously come to our world. The three brothers ravaged the lands of the East for decades, while humanity was left trembling in their wake. Our order, the Horadrim, was founded by a group of secretive magi to hunt down and capture the three evils once and for all.
As Tyrael was barred from intervening with humanity's affairs, he formed a group called the Horadrim, powerful mages under Tyrael's command to keep the forces of hell at bay. We later learned during the events of Diablo II in Horizon's Sanctum why the Horadrim are no longer active on Tyrael's behalf, fading into obscurity after they captured the prime evils and trapped them in soul stones, saying,
"It was a shining but brief moment for the mage clans when they set aside their differences and worked together against the common enemy. The Horadrim relentlessly pursued the three across the desolate empires of the east, and even into the uncharted lands of the west, leaving the Archangel Tyrael's hands unblemished. Presuming the three to be vanquished, the Horadrim's unstable fellowship began to dissipate. Abandoning their sacred charge to safeguard the three soul stones, the disparate mage clans began to squabble amongst each other over petty differences. Their conflicts not only dissolved their brotherhood, but strengthened the evils which they had buried beneath the cold earth.
Tyrael, yes. Yes, now I recognize you.
When we later see Tyrael in the Diablo II cinematic, his Horadrim are scattered to the winds and he's forced to take matters into his own hands, battling the prime evils. But what made the evils not kill Tyrael on sight? We know that Tyrael was protecting Tal Rasha, the last of his Horadrim of old, from being fully possessed by Baal. This is no doubt due to the fact we learn from Tyrael himself later in the game that he swore an oath to protect the Horadrim, hence why he intervened personally in this matter.
Long ago, I swore an oath to watch over the Horadrim and their descendants. As Deckard Cain is the last of their esteemed order, I will not allow him to perish here so far from the lands of his birth. Be at ease, hero. I know that he is your friend. He shall come to no harm.
However, his intervention was directly against Heaven's wishes. As Tyrael gains the upper hand in the combat versus Diablo in his weakened Dark Wanderer state, Marius freeing Baal saw Tyrael overwhelmed in the battle. And although the scene cuts to black and we next meet Tyrael bound to the Binding Stone, this gorgeous artwork is a showcase of what would have happened when Tyrael was left to Juriel as Baal and Diablo dash off to free Mephisto, which is far more important to the two. As they're being pursued by a band of heroes, they set a trap for them with Juriel as an unforgettable fight.
Looking for Baal.
Once disposing of Juriel in a hard-fought battle, we then find Tyrael shackled to the Binding Stone, and he states,
I thank you, mortal, for my freedom. But I did expect you earlier. I am the Archangel Tyrael. I came here to prevent Diablo from freeing his brother Baal. But I have failed. Now terror and destruction roam free throughout your world. I am broken, and the energies that tie me to this world are diminishing rapidly.
So, once Tyrael is defeated, he states he's running out of energy to hold himself to Sanctuary. But why didn't the evils just outright kill him on the spot? Well, consider the following. Baal had Tyrael imprisoned using his own Binding Stone that held him and Tal Rasha at bay. In doing so, Tyrael could not intervene with the plan of the duo to free Mephisto. And also, more importantly, Heaven wasn't alerted to Tyrael's death. In short, Baal and Diablo wanted to appear to heaven and hell alike that they were still exiled to Sanctuary and stranded, versus executing their endgame of reuniting to corrupt the Worldstone and dominate heaven and hell simultaneously. As such, discretion and time was of the essence. They also would have no doubt deduced Tyrael was surreptitiously aiding humanity without the knowledge of the Anger's Council, as if they had caught wind of his transgressions, an all-out war on Sanctuary and, inadvertently, the slaughter of humanity would begin. But then, why does Tyrael entrust Marius, of all people, with the task of destroying Baal's Shard of Destruction? In the novel Demon's Bane, it was stated after the Sin War, but before the destruction of the Worldstone, so during the events of Diablo II, for all his strength, Tyrael could not manifest himself on Sanctuary for more than a night at a time. Compounded with the fact that he just got his ass torn up by the greater evils, Tyrael would no doubt need to recuperate and return to heaven, which he did, as we do not see him during the entire Act 3, but only during the events of the Pandemonium Fortress in Act 4. 4, the battleground of heaven and hell outside of Sanctuary, where Tyrael is free to hold his form, presumably indefinitely. It's then safe to assume Tyrael was greatly weakened in his battle with the brothers, and without the aid of his trusted Horadrim, he was at the mercy of fate, not yet meeting the heroes of Diablo II, hence why he sent off the hapless Marius with Baal's Shard of Destruction as a last-ditch effort. But he had to entrust Marius would fulfill his duty, as Tyrael could not return to Sanctuary or even Hell to make sure that Marius had completed his task.
No! Don't do it!
Fool! You have just ensured the doom of this world. You cannot even begin to imagine what you've set in motion this day. Go to the Temple of Light in the eastern city of Karast. There you will find the gate to hell opened before you. You must find the courage to step through that gate, Marius. Take the stone you hold to the Hellforge, where it will be destroyed. Now run. Take the stone and run!
What choice did I have? I ran.
We are the spirits of the Nephilim, the Ancient Ones. We have been chosen to guard sacred Mount Arreat, wherein the Worldstone rests.
Few are worthy to stand in its presence.
Fewer still can comprehend its true purpose.
Before you enter, you must defeat us.
In Act 5, we then return from Hell to Sanctuary and the barbarian homeland of Herogoth in pursuit of the final evil, Baal. Tyrael is still nowhere to be seen, and presumably still unable to intervene. This is further confirmed by the Ancients upon their defeat.
The Archangel Tyrael has always been our benefactor, but even he cannot help us now. For Baal blocks Tyrael's spiritual presence from entering the chamber of the Worldstone. Only you, mortal, have the power to defeat Baal now.
After contending with the Lord of Destruction Baal, it was with Tyrael's last piece of strength he destroyed the now corrupted Worldstone and, like his favored Nephilim, made the ultimate sacrifice as Odyssean once did to protect humanity to unknown consequences. And perhaps for just one more day.
I am impressed, mortal. You have overcome the greatest challenge this world has ever faced and defeated the last of the prime evils. However, we are too late to save the Worldstone. Baal's destructive touch has corrupted it completely. Given enough time, the Worldstone's energies will drain away, and the barriers between the worlds will shatter. The powers of hell will flood into this sanctuary and eradicate your people and everything you've labored to build. Therefore, I must destroy the corrupted Worldstone before the powers of hell take root. This act will change your world forever, with consequences even I cannot foresee. However, it is the only way to ensure mankind's survival. Go now, mortal. I have opened a portal that will lead you to safety. May the eternal light shine upon you and your descendants for what you've done this day. The continued survival of mankind is your legacy. Above all else, you have earned a rest from this endless battle.
Order
Brethren.